Hello, I'm Catherine Sines, the president of the Rotary Club of Hudson. Rotary is a professional organization of a group of men and women who support Rotary International. We also join together by a common interest of service to our Hudson community, and we have a sincere desire to give back. We meet weekly on Wednesdays at Laurel Lake Retirement Community, 200 Laurel Lake Drive, in their dining room. We meet from 7:30 to 8:30 and would like to invite you to join us. For more information about Rotary, go to www.rotaryhudson.org. Enjoy the following excerpts from one of our recent meetings and consider joining us on Wednesday morning.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. Good morning, Ron. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. For those of you that might have forgotten me, Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. I can hear you. Okay. That better? Yes. Our invocation this morning by Father Joe Boisel.
Pardon me. We're going to dance over here. Yeah. All right. Will you pray with me? Lord, we thank you for this day and for bringing us safely into it. We thank you for this time together. We ask for your blessing upon our meeting, upon our food. Make us mindful of those who go without food this day. And Lord, by your grace, make us instruments of your peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is discord, union. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Grant that we may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Lead us in the pledge of the four-way test. One of our new members, Bill Benoit.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test. First,
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? It will be beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you. Now lead us in song, Chris Barker.
All right, I wanted to sing Let It Snow, but 2 people said no. One person said yes. But we're going to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Chris. Our president, Catherine Sines.
Good morning, everybody. Today's an exciting day because we start the gala celebration. It's kind of our big fundraiser, and it's also a great time. But before that, Chris is going to introduce any visitors that we have.
Good morning again, Rotarians. As I look around, I think I may have missed a few guests, so I apologize. So if I miss anyone, they can stand up and introduce themselves, or the Rotarian can introduce them. We have Patrick Scherer joining us again. Thank you, Patrick. And then we have Ken Fogle joining us from the Chagrin Valley Rotary, and he's a guest of Ron Strobel.
good morning.
And is there anyone else I missed? That's what I thought.
Greg.
Greg Box. Greg, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Morning.
Enjoy today's meeting. Okay.
we only have one announcement, and I just wanted to remind everybody today we have a board of directors meeting immediately following this meeting. So, Gail and Ron, whichever one of you want to come up first.
Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Ron has been away, so I will kick it off and we'll get to Ron a little bit later this morning, but it's my privilege to be able to share with you all the plans for our wonderful gala, which is our #1 fundraiser coming up. And there we go. Our logo, which initially I should mention was designed by, where's Donna? Donna by Donna's son, out in California, or?
He's in Minneapolis now, he keeps moving.
Oh, he moved, okay. Anyway. And we've been able to use it and update it each year. Okay, this is our #1 fundraiser of the year. And as you all know, when you joined Rotary, the expectations are that every member participates in the gala. You are expected to not only have a wonderful time that evening, but bring a guest and solicit gifts for the auction. So we had a record-breaking year last year, and we would like to at least attain that number. And probably Ron is the better one to give you numbers when he gets up here. Yes, we want you. We want every one of you to contribute in any way that you can to make this a success for our club. Who are our featured beneficiaries? Gift of Life. Gift of Life we have supported for a number of years, and in a little while Ken Fogel, who is our guest this morning, is going to describe exactly what's going on currently with the Gift of Life Northeast Ohio. Something new, EMS Outreach Hudson is launching a new program this year, and one of our newest members, David Schweihofer, is going to describe exactly what that is. Are You Okay? Are You Okay? Which is designed to keep kind of tabs on seniors who may be living alone here in Hudson. Uncharted Waters, which program was launched last year by Hudson Community First, and the two wonderful Lauras are here, who are co-chairs of Hudson Community First, and they are going to describe a little bit about what was done last year and what they're going to do that's different, what every senior needs to know before leaving for college. We, the Rotary Club of Hudson, is the major sponsor for this program, so we're excited about it. We've committed to it on an ongoing basis. We also have some secondary beneficiaries. Hudson High School scholarships. Dan, how much money do we give away?
$15,000.
$15,000 in scholarships each year to graduating Hudson High seniors who are planning to attend an Ohio school. We also support the absolutely wonderful, nationally acclaimed service learning class under Lonnie Banner and several other teachers who are with her in the program now. It has grown to over 90 students, and I think they're already booked for next year. All the wonderful things that they do, some photographs there of their service to the community. We also support Boy Scout Troop 321. Boy Scout Troop 321 made a presentation here earlier this year, and I'm looking at that roof over there. We paid for that new roof, 10 years ago? Anyway, newer. In your packet, how many of you have your packets? If you look on the left pocket, you will see the brochure. We call it the marketing brochure, and that explains what's up on the screen now is the front and back side of it, but it explains the why, when, and where of the gala, And on the left-hand side here, more details on how you can register for tickets. So we see that as a marketing tool. I have many more of those brochures for anyone who would like extra ones for when you go out and solicit for donations. You can use that so that people have a good understanding of why you are asking them for a donation. Come on, baby, go, there. We also have testimonials from some of our Hudson citizens and council people and our mayor and our state representative. So they all are behind us, and the left-hand side gives a brief description of each of the beneficiaries. So these are tools that can help you as you are out there soliciting donations. I do want to point out that these brochures, George isn't here today, is he, George Schmutz? Courtesy of George Schmutz Printing Concepts, who did all this printing for us. So if you need more brochures, let me know. I have them with me today. Where is it? Hilton Garden Inn. We have been there the last few years. They treat us extremely well. As you know, we have all of the auction items set up in the lobby area. It's on the rear of the building. This is the front of the building. And we use the patio. We have a tent out over the patio. We've been so lucky weather-wise. And then we go into the main ballroom for a full course dinner. The bar is open all night. How do you register? Very simple. You probably can't see the link here because it's in blue on a black background. But anyway, that's how you register. That's how your guests register for the gala. And there are no paper tickets, nothing else to do but register. When you register, you put in your credit card number, which allows you then to begin bidding before the event, which I think is pretty cool. Now, we don't have the gifts yet. We're just kicking off today. But once the gifts have been uploaded, we will let everyone know, and then they can start bidding online if they choose. Or if someone isn't able to come and would still like to bid on certain items, they have the ability to do that. Jay Yard, who is on vacation, has done a fabulous job with publicity. These are some of the articles that he wrote from last year, but there's constantly something in the hub about our Rotary Club and the gala, so we're promoting it. And then at the end of the gala, about a month later, after we have tallied everything, we do honor all of the donors by giving them recognition in the hub with our thank you ad. And there is a committee that does all of this work. So I wanted to pay tribute to them. Chris Barker and Donna is going to help her this year advertising. Chris, please raise your hand. And Donna in the back. Communications, oh that's me. Database management. Evan, where's Evan? Huge database management, and Doug is being trained. Where's Doug? To assist him with that and ultimately take that over. The event presentation, our very talented Donna always does that for us. Again, Donna in the back of the room there. Finances, Catherine. Couldn't be a more appropriate person to manage our money. Thank you. Come on, stick your own hand so everybody remembers you. The logistics and the setup. Huge job. Ron, our co-chair. Ron, thank you. Publicity, I already mentioned Jay, who isn't here this morning. Registration and table assignments, Tom right there, and Joe is on vacation. Sponsors, Jim Lang, where are you, Jim? Jim is doing a fabulous job along with his co-committee people, Dan Filburn and Richard Debiola, who are both kind of new to the committee. Thank you. Dan, did you come on?
Dan's not here.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dan isn't here. Anyway. And then Joe Avella, who's also, there are a lot of people on vacation, coordinates with the website. So with that, I want to thank you for listening to the kind of the how-to of what we're doing and why. And then we're going to have our co-chairs of Hudson Community First come up and explain a little bit more about what Uncharted Waters is. Laura, you going, both Lauras are coming up? Okay. Wait, pardon?
Laura times 2.
Laura times 2. Laura Jones, Laura Gasparo, the podium is yours.
There you go.
Makes it easy.
Morning, Rotarians. Wanted to do that once. We're so happy to be here again. I'm Laura Gasparo. This is Laura Jones. My previous co-director, Cheryl Rausch, kind of retired. She moved to Florida. Her husband got transferred, so Laura started on March the 1st. So I just want to introduce her to you, and I'm happy to have her as my co-director. Last year, we are so appreciative for the monies that you gave us for the Uncharted Waters program at Hudson High School. Over 400 kids are affected by this program. Every single senior, unless they are opted out by their parents, have to participate in the program. So this year, the program is on April the 17th. We work very closely with the school administration as they select the different speakers they want to come in. So we're really very happy again to be able to offer this to all the graduating seniors. We had found that they were a bit unprepared with just normal life things that you need to know, like balancing checkbooks, and they go to college and get homesick and not know what to do, or they're having problems at school and they don't know who to turn to at school. So this program kind of gives them a little bit of direction as to what to do.
Yeah, just hit the little arrow and point it here. There you go.
Okay.
So during the day, there are speakers throughout the day. One will be on wellness, one is on relationships and sexual assault and date rape. We have a new one this year on diversity. One from Judge Lisa Coates, now that you're 18, what do you need to know? And then at the end they have a class meeting and a big photo. Last year it was out on the football field with the number 2017 last year, so I'll probably do 2018 this year.
The program is in 4 rotating sections, so they divide the class of a little over 400 into groups of 100, and they go to each one of the different programs. So in session 1, 4 times it's going on, and then they move to the second program and 4 times it's going on again. So last year, this is the time schedule that they used, and they had a snack that we also pay for out of the grant. And then we give them lunch somewhere in there as well. So that's all included. This year we do have one speaker that we are paying for. Last year all the speakers were free. So one speaker this year is $1,800 coming out of the funds that were given.
So like Laura said, the point of this is just to prepare students for college. They've been thoroughly prepared by the schools academically, but there's just some little things that they need to know. Like even I remember starting college and not knowing how to do laundry. Just little things. So we talked about adding some mini breakout sessions like laundry, like changing a tire. I think most of them can do math, but just showing them how to balance a checkbook, little things like that to prepare them for school.
So everyone knows that college is a challenge. So we know that as kids at college report, 41.6% have anxiety all the time. 36.4% are depressed all the time. And they report that there's 35.8% of relationship problems. Now, we don't need all this going on when they're at college. We want them to be studying and learning and, you know, establishing their careers. We have done surveying in Hudson of our 8th to 12th graders, and they report that 10% of all 8th to 12th graders are depressed all the time. So community first programs help to identify that depression and to give them opportunities that bring them out of the depression through our programming. So this is reality. I mean, you might think those numbers are high, but this is the reality, and that's why this program is really so needed.
So, like we said during the session, we'll be talking about sexual assault, we'll talk about drug and alcohol issues on campus. I think you've all heard of different issues with binge drinking, certainly with pills and overdoses and everything. That's a huge problem right now. Just some of the consequences about being an adult. You could get away with things when you were 17. When you're 18, you are charged as an adult. And being aware of your surroundings, sticking together, having friends, when you go to a party, making sure you have a buddy that's there with you that makes sure you get home safely and all that sort of thing.
You taking this?
So we have 4 speakers that day. The presenters come from different areas that affect the different topics that we've presented. The first come from the Summit County Battered Women's Shelter, and you can see the things that they will be discussing. Most of it is about being safe and date rape and you know, boys and girls and what you can and cannot do. And there is one counselor and one administrator in the sessions at all times in case there's any questions from the school's perspective. They're also there to answer questions. The next speaker comes from Case Western Reserve. She is the speaker that we are paying. She speaks nationally on diversity and how diversity can affect you on the college campus. So we're very pleased to invite her this year. She is a new speaker to the program. The next speaker is Judge Lisa Coates. Everybody enjoyed her presentation. As what Laura said, you know, consequences happen when you're 18 years old. When you're 17, you can get away with it a little bit more. But she tells you about, you know, if you are renting an apartment, you have to pay the rent of that apartment. If you sign a contract, that's a binding contract. And kids, you know, going to college, coming from the environment, this wonderful Hudson environment we live in, they don't realize what the consequences are. So she really makes it really quite clear what you're responsible for. And our last speaker comes from NeoMed, or Northeast Ohio Medical University, and she really is the person that will speak about wellness when you're in college, how to deal with homesickness, any problems that you might be having with your professors and dealing with, you know, the different issues that come up when you leave home for the first time.
Yeah, mom's not there to wait for
So we give them an exit survey at the end of the school year. Things that they feel like they need to learn will add to the program. And at the end of the day, we have a meeting with Mr. Welch, and we gave out prizes last year. We'll be doing the same this year. Some actually very cool prizes like Beats headphones and fans for their dorm room, different things that they could use in college, but fun as well. And then they do the class photo as well.
So some of the things that we provide with the monies that you support us with are a lunch for all 400 kids. This year we've commissioned Jersey Mike's, and they'll all be getting subs. Last year we had Chipotle, and that was like quite a feat to accomplish, but we think Jersey Mike's will be a little bit easier. They'll have water all day, a mid-morning snack of granola bars and things like that. We also provide all of the raffle prizes. They also get a takeaway bag that has your logo, our logo, and the school logo on it, that has information about fire safety, how to get in, out of a dorm room if there's a fire, how to get out of an old house that you're living in on campus if there's a fire and what to do. We think that's really important because nobody ever really tells you how to do that until it happens to you. We're giving them an all-in-one light, whistle, and compass device, so if they're walking at night on campus, they have a whistle with them that's attached to their either book bags or for girls in their purses. If they get lost, or there's always a light that they, you know, if they can't see something, it has their class year on it, and we've heard from a lot of kids that they use it all the time, so we think it's a good tool to put in the bag. We also get vendors from all, coupons from all the vendors all over Hudson that we put in the bag. And then Judge Coates provides them with information about what she speaks about. So if any of you have anything you'd like to add to that bag, we would love to have it. We'll need your new logo so we can change that to the 34th annual. We work very closely with the Hudson schools. We couldn't do this program without them, without Kelly Kemp, without the principals at the high school. They select the speakers, they manage the day, we execute everything that happens that day, but without them, I mean, this is really a big community program. Not only the Rotary, but the schools and Community First working on it, but 406 kids being affected by it. So we can't thank you enough for recognizing the importance of the program and recognizing that Hudson Community First can be a good partner with the Rotary. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, we're glad to answer any. And if you have any ideas to further better the program, we're always open to that as well. Thank you.
One question. I know that, I don't know,
It's on.
It's on.
Just speak.
I know that Hudson is a college town, but there must be some kids at Hudson High School that are either going into a professional training program, or they're going to trades, they're not going to college, they might be living at home temporarily, or they might be going right into full-blown independent living. How are we serving those kids?
Well, that is where the information that Laura was sharing about checkbook balancing and signing contracts, really Lisa Coates is the one, Judge Lisa Coates is the one that really does a good job just preparing them overall for adult life. The other ones, of course, diversity is important, and all of the other topics that we talk about are all going to affect their lives, but Judge Coates really does the best job at preparing them for everyday life, whether they go to college or not.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking from the perspective of a kid at that age, how they feel if they're not going to college, and this program. And I think it's a great program, I'm not criticizing, but if the program simply assumes that they're all going to college, which is how it's.
I know it's a very low percentage that doesn't go to college,
I know,
but
Yeah, just, hi, good morning. Rotary. For those who are watching, James Field, I'm on the school board. We have a very extensive program that we do with the 6th District Compact that has all sorts of programs for kids who may be going directly into the workforce or going into technical schools. So this program obviously prepares kids for later life, not just college. And so, we have kids who have succeeded in everything, cosmetology, culinary arts, and so on and so forth. So I think, so that they are definitely have programs for them, and they're definitely realize that not everyone is going to be necessarily going on to college. And so we do our best to serve every child in the district.
This was from my former college professor, Pat, and I know how they feel if they're not part of that group.
thank you. Any other questions for the two Lauras? Oh, okay. All right. I will see that you get a new logo for the gala, and I'll get you a Rotary logo that has Hudson on it as well, instead of the international one. Okay, next we are going to ask Mr. Schweihofer if he will come up and tell us about the very unique Are You OK program that EMS Outreach is launching.
Thank you, and good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Well, that sounded so good. We do not have a visual presentation. We're still working on it. We'd like to get this program off and running a little bit. However, we are passing out a couple brochures per table that we're going to be using to explain this program. A little bit of history about the EMS Outreach. We were founded probably 8 or 10 years ago to augment the services of EMS, to provide training to the community, to provide certain services that EMS cannot, to help them purchase equipment which the budget doesn't support, and so forth. We started out with fridge packs, if you remember those, where we put your medical information in the refrigerator of all places, because the EMS people know to go there first to get coherent description of your doctors, your medicines, and preferred hospitals, and so forth. When you have an event that requires EMS at your home, probably a cardiac event of some sort, panic sets in, and it's very difficult to communicate clearly. From there, we moved to community-wide training for hands-only CPR. Some of you probably have experienced our training at the Ice Cream Social and at the Sumo Wellness Center. We, I believe this group helped us fund the automatic chest compression device, which is in the back of an ambulance. It's very difficult to give accurate and timely and correct CPR when you're in the back of an ambulance bouncing over these things called roads in a hurry to the hospital. This device performs perfect CPR, and it frees up the squad to get you there safely. We're on our second year of partnering with Ace Hardware to give out free house numbers. A surprising number of people in Hudson, their homes don't have visible house numbers, which seems sort of surprising, but when you drive around and look at homes, it's little bitty letters or numbers on top of the door, or it's on a rock in the lawn, which is under the snow. And, trust me, the EMS needs to know where you live. You don't want to see them driving around the street endlessly looking for your house. Fire says the same thing. And it also helps guarantee pizza delivery if they can find you. We got grants to help fund the purchase of AED devices for businesses and churches in Hudson. We've got 5 or 6 of those now in place. We did another grant fundraising proposal and got a substantial amount of money to help EMS purchase the automatic lift, which lifts up persons of, shall we say, heavier presence into the back of an ambulance automatically. The squads are often staffed with 2 people, one of whom is a 93-pound small person, and as America gets heftier, it's harder and harder to get people around. So that was our most recent activity. What are we doing now? This business called Are You OK comes to us from several sources. One is what we listen to what the squads tell us about what they see in the community. We listen to police and fire as well. And we find that there are a significant number of seniors who live in Hudson. They're not wealthy. They do not live with a spouse. They do not have kids close by looking in on them. And they don't live here. And they get in trouble. The EMS tells us that they'll go and see someone in an emergency call. The snow isn't plowed, the leaves aren't raked, the house is in disarray, the medications from CVS are still at CVS, and no one is paying attention or checking in on this person. And so we discovered a very well-known and very successful program in Texas that has an enormously successful Are You OK program, and we're modeling ours after theirs. It's not exactly the same model, but it's very, very similar. We have a software package that we're going to be purchasing with funding from you. It's a database manager, if you will. We have phone lines installed now in the fire department and in the police department in the dispatch area. We have a group of 10 volunteers who are going to be trained on March 24th. And what they will do is we have a wide-ranging sign-up activity that will go on where we'll capture very basic information about a senior who wishes to participate in the program. And we will call that person. A real person will call that person a couple of times a week and ask, are you okay? And we're going to be training these people to listen with a third ear, because sometimes you can pick up things by talking with an individual on the phone that indicates that maybe there's a need to have someone check in on them. First choice always is relatives, significant others, family members, and so forth, but it goes down the list to include police and fire if necessary. Completely voluntary program, completely free, thanks to your help. We are almost ready to start. We're waiting for the waiver form that the city solicitor has to agree to, because the person is really giving us permission in an emergency to enter their home. And we'd like first to have family members be contacted, but in an emergency, we need to come and see you. And we hope to fight off that loneliness and despair that seems to set in when you're older and living alone. And I would like to, again, appreciate or express our extreme appreciation to this group. We know that there are senior programs like this in Twinsburg and Aurora and Macedonia, and we think it's time for Hudson to start paying attention to the other seniors in town who are not as fortunate as some are, and this seems to us to be a good way to do that, to check it out. So that's the program. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any like business cards or something that like local physical therapists or something could hand out to some of their clients so that we can start to
If
make
you will tell me
awareness?
who you are, we'll make sure you get a pile of the brochures and sign-up forms. Yes, I would expect you guys probably do run into people
We do it all the time.
all the time.
No one can hear it on TV.
I have patients all the time who need people to check on them, either because their family is working all day
Or families
or
too
they
far
just
away.
are far away, right?
And surprisingly, some people don't have family, which is kind of shocking to me, but it's a real thing. And I will give you sign-up sheets and brochures, you can use them. We're going to put them everywhere in town. And by the way, you can help us too. If you are aware of people, you need to let me know, and we'll get you the contact information. It'll be everywhere if we succeed at getting this stuff out. Jim?
If you call someone and they ask you, are you okay? And they say, well, my health's okay, but I've got these other problems. How far do you go to meet some other needs other than do you need an EMS to come to you?
It depends. It's hard to answer that question because I don't know what needs you might be talking about. It's a little bit social working, I guess.
Right.
We sort of have to listen and see what we can provide and what we can't, or assist in getting you something. But it's difficult to say. We'd like to come back and give you an update on this in a few months, because by then we'll have some data that tells us what kind of things are coming out in that vein. But right now, I don't know. Yes,
Do you have any idea how many people might be involved in taking advantage of this?
No. We understand from EMS that they could probably come up with 100 names.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a slow process of getting people signed up. The program in Texas, which is the one we first learned about, is a couple years old, and they have several hundred seniors in a community of about 35,000. They do the Are You OK program. The realtors in that community chipped in and bought lock boxes for people. The realtors also helped organize with the school kids a snow shoveling program for seniors, and managed to arrange Christmas gifts, which is probably beyond what we're going to tackle to begin with. But it's been a real eye-opener to see how successful that thing is.
Good morning, I'm Lynn from Northwest Bay. You touched on hygiene, health, cleanliness, the outside, accessibility, that kind of stuff. As a banker, my concern is the financial health of our seniors. Is there something in place that if you see something that's going on that's maybe not legit, that they can report to or help in some way?
That's a good question. We hadn't considered that. I'm not sure how we would know that, unless the person brought it to our attention. That, for example, maybe they feel they've been victimized or about to be victimized. I think first call is, again, to concerned relatives, children, maybe the police, I don't know, but certainly we wouldn't let it go by if the person was expressing something like that to us. I'll bring that up with our group. Maybe we have to see if we have that on our evaluation. Yes, ma'am?
I know that sometimes they
We asked that everybody use the microphone so that your voice could be heard on Hudson Cable.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know that sometimes seniors, they might run out of food. The food didn't last the month, or they haven't been able to get to the grocery store. And in that case, if your volunteers have a referral chart, they can refer to food bank or whatever might do that. But I know there are things like that are pretty common.
We're assembling a resource file now of exactly that kind of stuff. If we have to make a referral, who are the people, what are the phone numbers, how do you get a hold of those people, and so forth. Our volunteers will be dealing with that on March 24th. Yes, sir?
Relative to the banker's comment, I totally agree, but perhaps you could develop, I know I get email notifications of scams, you know, I don't know who does this, but occasionally you see their news thing. Perhaps you could develop a pamphlet or a brochure that could be updated occasionally about the typical scams that are going around, and you could provide that information to whoever's participating in your program.
That's an excellent idea.
Who might be, you know, vulnerable to that.
Do banking people have such a thing now?
If I have the.
Yep, we'll bring it over to you. Hey.
Actually, it's funny you should bring that up. Today I'm doing my second presentation to the Professional Women's Group this time on identity theft and scams. And I actually have, paperwork that will show you, these are the different types of identity theft, these are the different types of scams. And for each different type, there are actually sample letters of, what you should send to the different, whether it be your bank, whether it be the IRS, things like that. So I actually have a presentation that I've done probably about 3 times now. So, since I'm on the board for EMS Outreach Hudson, I'd be able to definitely assist with that.
There you go.
Let me just, let me add to that, we have, I'm on the speakers committee, and we have a speaker scheduled April 25th to talk about internet fraud. And the speaker comes from the Summit County Social Services Department.
Okay.
There actually is apparently there's a social services person in Hudson who's based at Laurel Lake. However, I think they're going to be connected with the Congregational Church, and they're looking for funding from various institutions of faith and so forth, who I think also
is on our board.
Oh, okay, so yeah. I think would.
Kristen Keller?
Oh, that's
Kristen.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so maybe you could talk a little bit more about
Yeah, Kristen is connected to many of the churches and Laurel Lake, and she is a wealth of information in terms of the other resources that we will put in our resource folder. She's been instrumental in helping us get information to get this off the ground. So in that regard, I think we're pretty well prepared. But again, we'll know a heck of a lot more about what we hear in a few months. So if you will give us permission, we'll come back and give you an update and see if we can tweak it and fine tune it, make it better. But again, on behalf of the board and frankly all the citizens of Hudson, our deepest appreciations. This is just really cool to have your support.
It's wonderful to get in on the ground floor of something, isn't it? And just the excitement to see how it develops. Dave, if I could ask one question. When you made the presentation to the gala committee, I believe you cited a statistic as to how many seniors in Hudson are living alone and not in a Laurel Lake. Do you remember that? Oh, sorry.
No.
While you're thinking,
I have to go look it up.
but I know we were shocked.
It is a substantial number.
Right, we were shocked as Hudson citizens to hear how many people are living alone. Anyway, we need to move on to the gift of life and have Ken Vogel come up and give us an update on this fabulous program that we are so honored to be able to support. Ken? You're welcome.
Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me start by thanking Jimmy Sutliff. More than a decade ago, Jimmy connected Hudson Rotary Club and Gift of Life Northeast Ohio and was one of our early and biggest supporters. And I think that's part of the reason why this works so well between us. So you were talking about being at the ground floor. Jimmy was part of our beginning and connected us to you. Second, I wanted to say, I dropped some brochures out this morning. I only had 4 or 5 of them, of the annual report of Gift of Life International. And if you look in the back of that, the Hudson Rotary Club is listed as one of the Rotary donors for the global activity of Gift of Life International. Excuse me, I'm breathing hard this morning. May need emergency services. Anyhow, in that brochure, when you look at what Gift of Life International is doing across the world, anything related in there to Haiti and Egypt is us. And we're dealing with children's hearts. And 1 in 100 children in the world born with a congenital heart defect can be fixed, usually with 1 surgery. In our country, it just happens and it's done. In the rest of the world, in the developing world, they die. And we've been able to intervene in that. We were bringing children into the United States for many, many years and found that to be effective for that child and that family, but not very effective in the long run in terms of sustainability. So we've changed our model, and we're working on developing children's heart centers around the world. So in the Egyptian program that is covered in the international brochure, we were part of a $100,000 global grant, and to show the power of Rotary, locally we put in less than $5,000. And that gets matched by other clubs, other districts. We use district match, and all that gets matched by Rotary International through the Rotary Foundation. So when our district approved the grant, I got a call and said, what is this $1 million grant you've got? I said, it's not $1 million, it's $1 million Egyptian pounds. That's $100,000. So decimal point makes a difference. And in that particular program, which is ongoing right now, Gift of Life Cairo, which we helped start almost a decade ago, is performing surgeries at their Children's Heart Center in Cairo, and 35 children the first quarter of this year are getting open heart surgery. The picture I have on the wall is our biggest project right now, in which you are active players in, and this is in Haiti. The gentleman on the right is Dr. Clark. John Clark is a cardiologist from Akron Children's Hospital. And Akron Children's is partnering with St. Damien's Children's Hospital in Haiti, in our heart program there. And the woman sitting down doing the echocardio is Dr. Alexandra Noisette. And right now she is in her 2nd year of training to become Haiti's first pediatric cardiologist. She is currently in Paris, which is a wonderful place to be. And she's going to complete her training this summer and will have global credentials as a pediatric cardiologist and has a 6-year agreement with St. Damien's to remain at St. Damien's in providing pediatric care. So she right now is doing the aftercare with kids and the screening of kids for the visiting heart surgeons we bring into Haiti to do heart surgery. We've been doing this now, we've been involved with them since 2010, and Bill Considine at Akron Children's has been a very major supporter. We've brought in more than 10 children to Akron Children's for open heart surgery, but have achieved almost 50 children in Haiti with open heart surgery at our heart surgery center. Half the pediatric intensive care unit team is Haitians who have been in an exchange program with Akron Children's in training, and they're able to do the follow-up care and follow the kids through the process. So quite often the surgeons will tell you the surgery went great, the kid's doing great, and we lost them in the ICU because of the aftercare. So in this case, we're building that team for the aftercare in Haiti so that the quality of life can continue and the likelihood for survival can continue. Most of these kids, once the surgery's done, can have a normal life. What we're doing with Dr. Noisette is our responsibility in this, and we're partnering with several other gift applies, but ours is to cover her housing. And as I shared earlier with Ron, I've got about 2/3 of the money for that, so I'm really glad your deal is coming because it's a little tight at the end. So your dollars are directly contributing to her support, and what St. Damian's is doing right now is putting together a business plan for her. And in order to sustain the practice, what they're trying to do is they're going to do 3 to 5 days a week at St. Damian's Children's at no cost to anybody who comes. And then she'll also work in a clinic that they're putting up in Pinchonville, which has resources and dollars with paying customers that will help support the rest. So the idea of sustainability in this and building a resource and a cash flow to support herself in the process is excellent. Also, Dr. Clark has been a trainer across the United States in catheter procedures that eliminate the need for heart surgery in many, many, many programs. And if we can start doing that in Haiti, we can begin to have children's hearts served without having to bring in visiting teams, which costs us $80,000 to $100,000 a year when we do that. Again, that sounds like a lot of money, but with Rotary's leverage process, if we can raise about 1/4 of what we need for each of these grants, we can turn it into that $100,000. So that's what we tend to do. And Hudson's been a very active player through your gala every year, and we're fantastic believers in what you're doing and what you've done for us, so we thank you very much for it. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. Boy, that was easy, thanks guys.
Wonderful beneficiaries. Does it make you all feel good? Get out there and sell and solicit for our biggest party of the year. Ron has come back from California, the Indian Wells Tennis Tournament, and will you come up and give us some final wonderful words about our gala, please?
I had lunch with Jay Yard last Friday, by the way. So we were covering the same territory, only he was moving a lot faster than I was. We stayed in one place for 5 weeks. He's moving around. The letters should be going out to all of your donors today. The best time to call on those people is probably in 3 days to 4 days after the U.S. Postal Service has delivered them, and it's still on their desk before they forget that they got it, maybe, or maybe did something else with it that we hope they don't do. So if you all could put that on your calendars for the end of this week, and particularly next week, it does 2 things. Number one, it gets to them while it's on their mind. Secondly, it makes it very easy for Evan and now Doug to input the data into the database and get all of that process done. When that all piles up at the 3rd or 4th week of April, it gets to be a real challenge to those people to be able to get the job done and get it done properly. And so the more time we can give them, the better gala we'll have, the better our posters will be, the better the information in the public will be. So please make sure you get that on your calendars. Personally, mine will all be hand-delivered in the next 10 days. I find that the easiest because then I don't have to worry about them getting misplaced because it goes directly into their hands, and in most cases results in the gift immediately. One thing we do have already this year is the one-day boat trip on Lake Erie with Barb and Tom McDonald, which they've been giving for several years now. So we know we have that, and I'm sure we will have some other large items hopefully already by next week. So please help your team captains out. Help Jim Ahern, who's the leader of the team captains, and mostly help out our beneficiaries by getting out there and getting some great gifts. As Gail said last year, we set a record. Our Our net was a little over $55,000, which exceeded the previous year by 8 or 10,000. And it'd be super to be able to have that kind of result again, at least hit what we did last year. It would be nice to hit 60,000. And it'd be even nicer to hit a lot more than that. But you've heard from our beneficiaries who all it benefits. And for those of you that didn't get to look at the brochure from Gift of Life, I think open it up to the center page, Tom. I think that is absolutely beautiful, helping little hearts around the world. What a great thing, and I think we need to use that in some of our advertising and information to the community. And it's great that we've had everybody give their presentation this morning, so we know where our money will be going. And thank you all for what you've done in the past, and we look forward to another great year. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions on what's in your packet? That's all. Yes, Jim?
Just a reminder, if you don't have a packet, they're on the table over there, so make sure, don't leave without picking up yours.
Don't leave home without it.
Right.
Also, I understand that there's an easy way on the website to donate
Right.
and register, that you can just click and.
James has been putting up here so you all can see that. Anyway, any questions, come to Ron or me. I have more invitations if you want to send out more invitations to people that you'd like to invite to come to the gala, and I have more brochures right over here, so let me know. Thank you.
And if you don't have a packet and you're a newer member and you want to get involved, talk to Gail also, because there's a few that said they didn't have a packet. So we can get you a packet. I want to wrap up the meeting. Thanks to our greeters, Ralph Day and Jim Lang. Also, visual and setup crew, Dan Rich, Tom Page, Tom Tobin. Oh, I don't think Tom was here, so. James Field and Ron Barnhouse. And thanks to Kenneth for helping out with the audiovisual. We're glad you're here, appreciate it. And also, before I do the roadblock, I just have to say, honoring our two seniors, senior citizens and seniors in college, in high school going on to college, or seniors going on into life. I mean, in the gift of life, you gotta be excited about it. I think we gotta give that message out to everybody why we do the gala. And for the roadblock, I've lost my marbles.
This is the week I'm gonna win.
Marbles.
Okay, so the roadblock is $14 payout and $2.19 if we ever find any marbles. So I'll get some marbles.
Oh, are they?
Somebody ate that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing off the top.
So the last four digits is 5607, and then we'll worry about getting them jackpot.
That was on the top.
Hey! Clinton. Remember, always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine. Thank you for coming, and as soon as we find the marbles, we'll be here. Yeah. Good try. We'll draw, well, as soon as we get the marbles, Clinton, you can draw. We'll see how.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. You want me to wait?
No.
You know what, Clint, why don't we have you draw next week at towards the beginning?
Sounds good.
Okay?
Works for me.
And then you can be excited the whole week. Have a good week, everyone.